get your day started feeling good. And today we're going to be talking about a pretty awesome thing. We're going to give just a minute here for people to start hopping on, or if you're watching at home later. Um, we're so excited to have you. Thank you so much for joining us. This is today's all about giving a little thanks to people. And so, we come here every Tuesday to provide some positivity, mindfulness, give you guys a little bit of things to make your day better. Just some psychological studies that'll help get you thinking, help you feeling better, or some spiritual techniques that will help you in your day-to-day life in ways that you don't even know. So we're always here bringing you guys some of the best stuff, and we're so happy that you guys just come, and we're so grateful to all of you who watch us. And so, today, today is that time of year where, the holidays are approaching, and November especially often brings us thinking into, things like what we're thankful or what we're grateful for. And so that's what we're going to be getting into today. What does that really mean, and what can it do for you, and how will, this idea of thinking and giving out gratitude give you help your life?
Yes, absolutely. And we want to take a minute to say good morning. Good morning again. This is Earl Weiss, and I'm Julie Tunador. For any of you who are new and just tuning in with us for the first time, we are both certified hypnotherapists, and we love bringing mindfulness and positivity, especially in November when everyone's feeling thankful and grateful. And also, Earl and I want to take a little bit of time this morning to recognize, again, last year and now this year, these holidays are a little different for everyone. And how many people can agree with that, that as they're heading into this holiday season, there are things that, because of the world situation, that are different for all of us. And that may mean different things for different people. Some of us are possibly feeling lonely as the holidays are approaching, and maybe we don't have any family living with us, and we can't get to or feel comfortable getting to other family members during these times. A lot of people we know have lost people through the last year and a half, and holidays have a way of triggering things and stirring things up inside of us, stirring things up from childhood, stirring up any loss, stirring up all kinds of feelings. So we're very aware of that. And we know that some people are struggling financially because of the pandemic, and the holidays might be adding some extra pressure and extra stress. And that's completely normal. And there are other people that are feeling this tension of the world climate, whose social gatherings are being disrupted by people talking about whether you're vaccinated or not vaccinated, or it's comfortable to gather inside or outside, and everyone is just feeling differently, doing different things. Everyone's doing the best they can, and we know that, but we all are different people with different opinions, and this can bring some added stress to our holidays. And if you think back even 2 years ago, 3 years ago, holidays always bring a little bit of stress. They stir the emotional pot, and that's really normal. But then you add all of the above to the holidays, and that can be a lot. It can bring a lot of overwhelm. So as much as there's the warm, fuzzy feelings that come with the holidays, there's often a lot of overwhelm and stress and tension, anxiety, and opening of a can of worms sometimes for our emotions. So just know that wherever you are, that we're focusing on this topic today because we know that this can help you, whatever your situation is, to feel better, to enjoy your holidays, to focus on what you do have in your life right now that is really amazing. And I want to share a story with all of you about my story as we're talking about November, Thanksgiving, thankfulness, gratitude. I started a gratitude practice a long time ago. And when I started, I didn't know what it was going to do for me or what it was going to change. I just simply liked the routine of it. And it started with me just gratitude journaling in the morning when I woke up. And I would wake up, and the first thing, when I was still kind of in that sleepy state, I would just write down 10 things that I was grateful for. And I started doing that. And then sometimes that would turn into my gratitude journaling. And then I would go straight into a meditation. And my meditation, I didn't even realize what I was doing, but it was a meditation focused on gratitude, because I had already gotten myself into the energy of gratitude before I would start to meditate. And I simply did this as my routine. I didn't expect anything long term. I just expected and knew that it made me feel really good. And I loved starting my day that way. So I started this practice, and slowly over years, I've noticed that now it's become a habit for me, that I have this habit of gratitude. And even in the most stressful situations where there are negative things that are apparent, it's like a balancing act that I don't even intentionally do anymore. When the negative comes, also this balance of what I'm grateful for pushes forward for me automatically. And recently in the last couple of years, I had some health struggles, and I was struggling with some things physically. And for any of you who've ever struggled with anything around health or physical injury, then you know that there's kind of a point of choice, but it doesn't really feel like it at the time. It can feel, like we either go down this place of kind of getting depressed and being consumed by however we're feeling and what we're not able to do, and kind of go down that rabbit hole. Or we can choose to focus on when things are working, when they are feeling good, the good days. And I noticed that as I was going through my health struggles, that the worse I felt, the more grateful I was for what and when I did feel good. What experiences that I had, the people I would connect with. I just started appreciating everything that much more. And I think that had a lot to do with me being able to kind of move through those things in a very graceful way. And just even recently, many of you know that I recently moved. We were doing renovations on the house. If anyone's ever renovated, dealing with contractors, dealing with all of it, there's a lot of challenges that come about. But at the same time, I found myself feeling so grateful for these people and their skills and the work that they could do. And as much as sometimes there were broken deadlines and timing wasn't lining up and mistakes were made, then I had found myself automatically tuning into the balance of that, feeling grateful for the experience, for the learning, for the home that was being renovated, for all of these things. So this habit of gratitude that I've gotten into has really, really helped me in my life. It's helped me to lower stress. It's allowed me to see the beauty in the world during times of absolute chaos. It's allowed me to feel more connected to myself, and really led me to feel more gratitude for all the divine positive to come. Because it's when you're in that place of kind of flow with the universe, you already see the positive coming. And you just know it's there, and you know it's happening, and then it does. So whether you are feeling stressed, overwhelmed, or even a little down this holiday season, if you have health issues or life events that are taking place, then we want to talk to you today about gratitude, because we know that whatever your situation, that this can help you.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's why we wanted to get kind of, because there's actually like a lot of research behind gratitude, and like psychology loves it because they're like, oh wait, it turns out if you feel good, you feel good. Like it's like it sounds like it makes sense, but we don't always pick up on that, right? Because we can be so locked into negative feelings that it feels almost impossible to get out of it. So you're just like you get into the spiral, and it can feel really bad. And but psychology, they love studying this because they're like, oh, if we teach people a gratitude practice, well, what would happen? And then they find all these amazing things that start happening. So, gratitude itself, is derived from the Latin word gratia or gratis, which means grace, graciousness, or gratefulness. So basically, gratitude can be as simple as having a thankful appreciation for what you receive, whether it's tangible or intangible. It might just be a feeling. So when you feel gratitude, people people start to acknowledge the goodness in their lives. And as you acknowledge goodness, you usually start to recognize that the source of goodness isn't just you, but also others. And so it connects you, to everyone. And so being grateful will help you connect to something larger than yourself. And so whether it's other people, it's nature, or some sort of higher power, this it's a really powerful thing. And this positive psychology research with gratitude has found very consistently the association with greater happiness. Gratitude helps people feel more positive emotions just in general. It helps you relish in the good experiences more. It helps improve your health. It can help you deal with adversity. It helps cultivate resilience. It also helps you build stronger relationships with others. And you could bring gratitude from the past. You can think about things in your past that you're grateful for. You can bring it into the present. Take like the present moment. You're like, oh, this is amazing. This is amazing. Or you could, you can think about the future, like Julie was saying. And if you maintain a hopeful optimism, well, that will also help align you to more hopeful, optimistic things. So I want to briefly discuss one of my favorite studies about this. There's like a billion of them, but this one's one that I really like is where they just had participants write a few sentences each week, focusing on particular topics. And so one group, they were told to write what they were grateful for of the things that occurred during the week. Second group wrote about their daily irritations, things that displeased them. And the third group just were told to write about events that had affected them. It was like no emphasis on is positive, this is negative, just like what has affected you. So after 10 weeks, those who wrote about gratitude not only were more optimistic and felt better about their lives, but kind of surprisingly, they exercised more, and they also had fewer visits to physicians than those who focused on their sources of aggravation. So it showed that like focusing on the negative kind of makes you more sick because it can make you, it can puts you in that place where it's like you don't want to move, your body aches or things like this, versus that when you're focused on like, oh, these are all the great things in life, it starts to motivate you, gets you going, it gets you feeling good, right? So the study, feeling good feels good. So, and there's like so many studies, but others looked at how it improves relationships. And there's one really cool study that they had couples. And so they had couples take the time just to express gratitude towards their partner. And that made them not only feel more positive towards them, just in general, even during times when they were arguing or there was fighting or there was problems, but it also made them more comfortable to express concerns about their relationship because they were able to have this like, here's the good stuff. And even though it's not always good, there's not always, just the greatness, but being able to express gratitude towards your partner absolutely shifted people's relationships in a positive, great positive way. So I'm going to give you a few quick ways to cultivate that gratitude. You can write a thank you note. You could thank someone mentally. That means just getting into the feeling of thanking someone. You can gratitude journal. You can, like Julie was saying, you can write a whole journal, just like, these are the things I'm grateful for, because this retrains your mind to think positively. We're constantly bombarded by, by so many outlets that spread messages like, here's what's going wrong in the world, here's what's terrible, here's what's horrible, here's some bad, and having this practice of gratitude and expressing like, okay, well, sure, there's bad things, but boom, you retrain your brain to think more positively, to see the blessings in the world. If you're religious, you could pray and you add gratitude for the things you have into that prayer. If you meditate, you can add gratitude into your meditations. And so here are just some of the quick benefits of doing that. Heightened happiness and optimism. You get to strengthen your immune system. You get you get increased endorphins, serotonin, dopamine levels. So all the happy brain chemicals start to fire off when you feel good. Who would have guessed? And so it helps you. It also helps people's abilities to cope with pain and stress. It can relax the heart. It puts you right into a coherent state to feel gratitude. And it also helps you sleep better and longer. And that's why it can be a good practice to do a gratitude right before you go to bed.
Yes, absolutely. I love all those, especially the relationship one. I think that's something that it doesn't just have to be our significant other. This is something we can do in all of our relationships. It's something that you can implement in our home. Every time we sit down for dinner, we go around and everyone in the family tells one thing that was challenging that day and the thing that they were the most grateful for. And so it's like we can incorporate these practices that really open up our relationships of all types. And I just think that is also one of my favorite studies. It's really amazing. And isn't it amazing that a simple practice that might take you 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes at the most, if you choose, can really, really change your life. It can increase your happiness. It can decrease depression. It increases self-esteem even. They've done studies specifically on self-esteem and self-confidence. And there's a huge shift. It increases your physical health, your psychological health, your emotional health. It helps enhance empathy, which is another reason why it helps in relationships. And there was another interesting study that shows that it reduces aggression and resentment. So that's really interesting, and it ties into the relationships as well. And one study that I thought was really interesting as well was a study they did on World War II veterans and then 9/11 survivors. And in this study, they had, a group of each that practiced different gratitude exercises. And they found that it created a mental strength, a resilience, lowered anxiety, lowered PTSD, lowered depression, and just general less feelings of panic, ease, comfort, well-being was how they described it. And that one stood out to me because if you think about it right now, we're kind of living in a crisis. This whole pandemic, we're going to look back on this and it's going to be remembered. It's going to have changed our lives. I don't know anybody who's gone through this and hasn't experienced a change in their life in one way or many ways. So, we're just inviting you all to really hear and take in what we're saying today, because just practicing a few minutes of gratitude a day, you can stay mentally, emotionally, physically healthy. And that's pretty amazing just by expressing gratitude. And you don't even have to share it with anybody else. And I want to get into this study from Berkeley. And this study, they had half of the group write gratitude letters and the other half of the group did not. So they were just coming in, they basically did a therapy session, and half wrote gratitude letters, the other half did not. They just had a therapy session. And the reason this study is so unique is because it found that gratitude, it increases the benefits over time. Whereas most things that happen in therapy, you'll have an immediate benefit and then, it might kind of taper off and you might need to revisit that. But they found with gratitude, it was the opposite, that just in that one experience of writing this letter of gratitude, they checked back in at 4 weeks, at 12 weeks, and again at 3 months, and found that the benefits had actually increased. And they hadn't done anything, if as part of the study anyway, other than writing that letter. And this study showed that it completely, based on all the surveys and the interviews and life circumstances, that it unshackled toxic emotions by being in this gratitude. It helped even when they didn't share it. So some people who wrote the letters, they decided to send their letters and other people didn't. And I think it was out of 300 people, only 26 sent the letters in the 150 group that wrote them. And the rest did not. And they still experienced these benefits. Even when they didn't share the gratitude they were expressing, it was just within them. The benefits increasing over time. So you can imagine if they kept going, they expected to see a continued increase, because at the 3 months they did an MRI. And what they found was the part of the brain that is in charge of learning and decision-making was much more active in the group that wrote the gratitude letters 3 months earlier. And that there's no coincidence. So the brain activity had completely changed, and the way that their hormones and all their, neural synapses, everything was different just from writing one letter. So just think if you could spend a couple minutes every day, where you would be. Pretty amazing. So let's try this today. If you can grab a paper and something to write with, we're going to do a little exercise here today to get you to the same place, to get you feeling awesome and allowing those benefits to just continue increasing for you all the way through the holidays, next year, and more. So grab paper and pen, and don't worry if you're driving or if you're at work and you can't grab paper and pen, that's okay. You can do this mentally in your mind. So once you get back and you've got something to write with, we're very simply inviting you to spend just a few minutes with us right now this morning, all of our energy connected in gratitude, and just write a letter to somebody. It can be somebody you barely know. It can be somebody you know very well. And simply write whatever comes to you for just a few minutes here. And for those of you who are possibly driving or at work, somewhere that you can't write, then in your mind, you can just visualize it. You can imagine, visualize telling that person how you feel, or you can simply just thank them and go over, sending them gratitude in your mind. So we're going to take a few minutes here and let you all do that.
Absolutely. It's so all of you start writing, but I'm just going to talk while we write a little bit, because this is, I think some of us, sometimes you've maybe grown up and you had like a parent be like, oh, be grateful for this. And you're like, oh, you get angry because you're like, oh, telling me to be grateful. But that's important, because you want to get into the feeling of gratitude as well, because there's I'll highlight another study that people that were just told, like, write about gratitude without being, without feeling it, like where they didn't feel it, they didn't really get these benefits. So it's important to get into the feeling of it. So as you write this, get into the feelings of like how amazing it was to have that, or how grateful you are, and get into those feelings that are associated with it, because those feelings, those are magnetic. Those are what it's going to bring in more of those feelings. But if you're just like, I'm grateful for this is cool, this is fine, and you're just doing it to do it, it won't be as beneficial as if you actually get into the feeling of it. So I invite you guys to really feel that gratefulness, really feel that gratitude. Feel, I've heard gratitude expressed, when you think about it in the future, as receiving an unseen gift that you weren't expecting. Just that surprise, that like, ooh, wow, really thoughtful gift. So that feeling, really capture that as you write this little letter.
Yeah, and you can even write about those moments of gratitude.
Yeah.
Where you were, what it looked like, who you were with, how you felt. Just get into it with all of your senses.
You're at home and you're not writing or thinking, I guess you could stare at our beautiful faces, but I do invite you to practice this and try it out for yourself, because you'll see that it really does. It really will do some amazing things for you. Even I'm writing. Yeah, see, look at that.
And some of you may choose to send this letter. It is that time of year when it might feel good to connect with other people and possibly send this letter that you're writing right now. And maybe you don't, and that's okay too. The benefits are still there for you. I can always tell when I've gotten to that place of gratitude, when I just feel this wave of just beauty in the world, beauty in the moment wash over me, and it almost brings tears to my eyes, just happy, joyful tears. So I hope you're feeling that gratitude flowing in. And just take about another minute here. Go ahead and you can wrap up your last thoughts, or you can just wait until we end and continue writing and finishing your letter. And we just wanted to thank you and share our gratitude for you and for being here, sharing your time, your energy, creating this connected sense of oneness with us. We really appreciate it. We're grateful for all of you and thankful to share these mornings with you on Tuesdays.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, that felt really good. We wanted to express our gratitude as well. We're making all our courses. If you ever peeked at those, we're making them all 50% off through the end of the month. And we want you guys to really experience them. And one of the awesome things about them is we offer a 60-day money back guarantee on everything. So if you're not enthusiastic about something you start, and that's okay. We're okay with that. We want you to have no risk when you do it, but we really want more people to join this course, because we've seen such amazing things. We teach so many amazing skills like this that just brighten your day. And all our courses, we try to keep it to about, at the most, 20 minutes a day, about 20 minutes a day. So you get a small practice and exercise, and they're just amazing. In 6 weeks, you would see like the greatest change in your life. And so we invite you guys to check those out and join us on one of our journeys that we've put together, because we're very proud of them. We've worked really hard on them, and we're grateful to you guys who come and watch our show. And we just love sharing with you guys. We love coming here on Tuesdays, and we are so grateful to you. And we'll catch you next week. So
yes, and we'll share, I don't know, we have a discount code for you guys that we'll share with you. We'll post it in the group, and we'll post it on MindYouphoria. Earl might know it right now.
It's GRAT50. So just
GRAT50.
GRAT 50. Our coupon generator wanted a nice short one, so just GRAT50. So make it easy.
GRAT50. And thank you guys. Join our membership group, join our Facebook group, like us, follow us, share our stuff. We are grateful for you. We're grateful for all of the connection and sharing that you do, especially as we go through these times of the holidays together. And we'll see you next Tuesday.